Greetings and salutations. My name is Jay, and you're watching the Lo-Fi Workshop. And for those keeping track, this is episode 10. And so I thought I'd do something a little different to celebrate the milestone. Come along with me, let's get this done. Alright, so as I said, this is going to be a little different from what I normally do on this channel. So far, all of my videos have been creating some sort of a miniature, usually out of toys that I got from a thrift store. Well, we won't be using any thrift store toys this time, but there are a few items from the dollar store. So this video is titled How to Make a Friend, and I'm gonna do just that. I'm literally going to make a friend. And I'm gonna start at the most logical place, the hand. And you might be wondering, why is that the most logical place? Well, the best of friends always lend a helping hand. And this friend's gonna have two of them. So I started by twisting some wire up to make some stronger wire, and now I'm just coating it in some hot glue to help it stay in place and cover up some of those hard edges. Now the wire was given to me by my wife, but this piece of foam here I bought at the fabric store. And what I'm going to do here is cut out the hands. I'm going to cut them in half and then glue the wire frame into the inside of the hands. There's probably a better way to do this, maybe to cut the shape in half first and then cut the fingers out, but you know, I just went about it the hard way. And when you're working on a project for the first time, or maybe the first time in a long time like myself, you're gonna make some simple mistakes like that. So don't sweat it, just keep going and hopefully you'll figure out another solution for the problem. So why am I making a video about how to make friends? Is it because I'm an expert on friendship? Not exactly. In fact, it has more to do with the lack of friends that I have in my life right now. Of course, I've got my feline friends, like Amelia here. But a couple of years ago, I moved a long distance, and I don't have any family or friends in this area. And honestly, even before moving, I didn't really have that many friends. I had been living down in that area for over 20 years, and I had a lot of friends at one point, but over time, people drift away, move away, change. And as you get older, it becomes harder and harder to meet people and make friends. So just like with all of my creative endeavors, I'm just going to take this into my own hands and make a friend from scratch. And as soon as I'm done making his arms, I'm going to move on to his legs. So I'm not entirely without friends. I don't want to give the wrong impression here. I have some great friends that I've had for many, many years that I'm still in touch with and talk to regularly. And I've got a couple of brothers who are basically the best friends I could ever ask for. And of course the best friend of all is the woman that I married. So in many ways I'm actually blessed as far as friendships go. But still, I'm gonna make myself a new one. Someone to hang out with, someone to listen to music with, someone to tell jokes with and get into trouble with. Someone to help me out on this show. If he wants to, of course. So now you can see the color of flesh that this guy's gonna have. It's this nice blue color. I don't know why it had polka dots on the inside, but there they are. So this project involves a lot of sewing, and yeah, I did it all by hand. Very tedious, so I'll speed it up for you a bit here. And this will be his arm. sewing finished, we're going to go ahead and put the stuffing inside the arm and move on to the feet. The feet have bones for the toes, but there are no individualized toes this time. So back to talking about friends. While I haven't really made that many in my local area, I have started to make some friends elsewhere. I mentioned in my last video that my wife is an artist and we've been attending some conventions as a part of her job. And at those conventions we meet a lot of people. And we've had the good fortune of getting table placements close to some great folks. It's really been amazing meeting all these wonderful people out here in Atlantic Canada. But unfortunately, there's still nobody right here locally. But there will be after this. Oh, now my feet are running away. In a previous video, I also mentioned the Indie Miniature Makers Collective. It's been really fun to find a group of like-minded people who are into doing similar activities. It's a Discord server with an active community, and they have regular meetups and gatherings, and competitions and things like that. I'm still pretty new to the community, and I tend to be a pretty aloof person in general, so it's taking time, but I'm sure that I will eventually start to make some friends there. And a quick shout out to those friends I've already made over there. Hey guys. If you're like me and you're looking to make friends, joining a community like that with like-minded people is always a good idea. Even if you're not particularly active, just putting yourself out there opens the door. And sometimes that's all you need to get started. Alright, so now we've made his arms and legs, but what is he gonna look like? I'll show you some of the drawings that this guy's based on here. So, originally I was gonna make him to be kind of a frog-like design, but after a while I decided to make him a little bit more of a goblin, which is why I call him a froblin. So, anyway, let's get back to the build. So now we're gonna get to work on making his head. For that, we're going to use a couple of circular pieces of floral foam and a frisbee that I found at the Dollarama. It is a patriotic Canada frisbee, but as much as I love my country, this one was cheaper than the one that had Paw Patrol on it. And on this channel, we like to do things on a budget. The two pieces of this frisbee are going to make the interior top and bottom of the mouth. Now, everything I'm doing here is completely original and improvised, but I did take a lot of the basis of those ideas from a channel called Puppet Nerd, and I'll link to that in the description below. Of course, I deviate wildly from their instructions and do things my own way here, but sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. And that's kind of the philosophy behind this channel here. Everything's basically DIY in one form or another. I don't have all of the best equipment, all of the best tools, all of the best paints. I'm filming this using my phone. But what I want to show people is you can make a lot using very little. You don't have to have all of the best things, all of the best tools. You don't even have to have all of the best skills. In fact, when you start, you definitely won't. But of course, as we all know, the only way to get those skills is to just start doing the work. And that's basically what I'm doing here. I started this channel with a simple idea, which is to challenge myself to continue making things. And so far so good. I'm here 10 episodes in and I'm still having fun. That's not to say it hasn't been without its challenges. Each project is unique, and I've learned a lot about different aspects of the process in each one. Now initially I wanted to do a project every 2 weeks on this channel, but I'm glad I decided to take it a little bit more slowly. I think I would have been burnt out by now if I hadn't. And so I am hoping to keep this pace of releasing a video roughly every 3 weeks. So you might be wondering why I'm painting the floral foam. So it's actually paint mixed with glue, and that's going to help seal everything so that moisture can't penetrate. And now for the inside of the mouth, I'm using this kind of pinkish purple felt. A little hot glue to seal it in on the corners. And I'm using a craft glue here, so it's a little bit thicker and takes a bit more work to spread out. But you should be able to use any white glue, PVA glue, school glue, if you want to try to make something like this at home. So there is another factor driving me to make this project, and it has to do with a book that I had when I was a child. I was probably only about 8 or so, and the book was about ventriloquism. The book came with a little hand puppet, and it was really fun reading through all the pages and figuring out how to make words without moving your lips. Now, I never really wanted to be a ventriloquist necessarily, but learning all the tricks was a lot of fun. And I always thought it would be really cool to have my own ventriloquism dummy. Now, I've had a lot of little puppets throughout the years, but never anything as big and cool as a ventriloquism dummy. And I didn't want to have one of those ones that just looks like a creepy, weird little guy staring at you blankly. Now, if I was going to have one, I wanted it to be something, fun. Something with a little more character. And way before I ever got into ventriloquism, I was into the Muppets. It started where it starts with everyone, Sesame Street, but I got into a lot of the different Jim Henson shows over time. From Fraggle Rock to Labyrinth, and of course the Dark Crystal, the Jim Henson Company has been a very big influence. But anyways, these dollar store Christmas decorations should make a nice pair of eyeballs. Hey, if you like what you're seeing so far, go ahead and hit any of those links in the description. You can like, comment, subscribe, and if you don't like what you're seeing, you can keep that to yourself. Alright, let's get back to the build. As you can see, I painted the eyeball on the inside of the decoration, and that should give the outside a nice clear plastic finish, leaving them looking really glossy. Now, when you're painting the eye this way, you actually have to paint it in reverse, so you want to paint the front layer first and the back layer last. And that's why I started with the pupil. And while you will see me painting in strokes, I've also gone in with a second layer and stippled to make sure that I got good coverage. And for those unfamiliar, stippling is the little dabbing technique that I'm using right here. So that's one smart thing that I did with the paint. One stupid thing that I did with the paint was mix all of my colors at the beginning. Why is that stupid? Well, let me tell you. Each layer of paint took a little bit to dry, and I couldn't paint the next layer until the previous one had dried. Which means that, of course, all the paint that I had mixed up at the beginning dried. Not just a waste of paint, but also a real pain, because now I have to remix all of these colors that I took a lot of time to get right. But no big deal, you just mix them up again and get to painting. I'm going to use this piece of foam here to create a little bit of a structure in his head. I'm calling it a nose bone, I guess? I know, there's no such thing as a nose bone, and I already kind of painted nostril sockets on his face, but just go with me here, alright? Couple toothpicks to keep it in place. And there you have it. So with his eyes and his nose bone firmly in place, it's time to flesh out his face and give him a body. Yes, that means a lot more cutting and sewing, so here we go. And that pink fabric there is going to act as his lips once I wrap it around this rubber-coated wire that I also got from the Dollarama. Looking at the head half constructed in the background, it does look an awful lot like a frog. But the more he gets fleshed out and covered up here, you'll see his character come to life. Especially once this nose gets added on. And at this point his face is in place, we're just working on the rest of his head. And now we get to fill in all that space with some stuffing, giving it a nice shape. And then we add a little band of fabric for a neck. A couple more pieces of felt will help me finish up the inside of his mouth. And all that's left after that is his torso. Now at this point I had put a lot of hours into the project and I was getting tired, so I don't actually film the torso. But I did film the sticks that I used to make his arms and legs move, which of course were made from materials from the dollar store. Finally done with the build. Only one thing left to do. Let's bring this guy to life.
He's alive!
What? I'm naked?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I got you some clothes. Hold on.
Man, this is what you got me? Man, you got problems.
That's all they had in your size, buddy.
So what now?
Well, you can host the show with me if you want. Be my co-host.
Oh man, is that why you made me?
Not exactly. I just thought it'd be nice to have a friend around.
Oh my.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Jay. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like...